The Biden administration is out today warning about an economic catastrophe if the debt ceiling is not raised, right? And right now, the national debt is $28.77 trillion, right? So I don't know where they want to raise the ceiling. I mean, 30 trillion, or right now the ceiling is suspended. And I forget at what level it was suspended, but it's probably like 5 trillion or more lower than the current national debt. So I'm not sure, what kind of smoke and mirrors they want to use this time to be able to run up even more debt. But the reality is, it's not an economic catastrophe if we don't raise the debt ceiling. It's an economic catastrophe if we keep raising the debt ceiling. In fact, because we've raised the debt ceiling every time we've hit the ceiling, that's why we have so much debt. If Congresses in the past had had the guts not to raise the debt ceiling, we wouldn't be in this predicament, because we would have balanced the books a long time ago and we wouldn't have all this debt. It always makes me laugh when I hear these politicians say, we have to raise the debt ceiling because America always pays its bills, right? Because what they're saying is, if we don't raise the debt ceiling, then we won't be able to borrow more money so that we can pay our bills. And so we need to raise the debt ceiling because we want to keep paying our bills. Well, the reality is, the reason we have to keep raising the debt ceiling is because we never pay our bills. See, if we actually paid our bills, we wouldn't have any debt. It's because we don't pay our bills that we have all this debt. And because we want to continue to not pay our bills, that's why we want to raise the debt ceiling instead of paying our bills. You see, it doesn't count. If you get a Visa bill in the mail and you pay it off with your American Express card, you haven't really paid it off. You've just transferred the debt from one lender to another. So when Americans borrow money and then they repay it by borrowing more money from a new lender, nothing has ever been paid. It's one giant Ponzi scheme, and we want to continue this debt pyramid and have it grow and grow and grow, and that's why we want to raise the debt ceiling. Now, yes, if we don't raise the debt ceiling, we accelerate the catastrophe. So what Biden really means is that if we raise the debt ceiling, we can kick the catastrophe down the road and we won't have to deal with it today. But of course, it'll be a bigger catastrophe because we're going to have even more debt. So by raising the debt ceiling now, we can avoid having to deal with the problem now. We can just make it bigger and then have an even bigger problem to deal with tomorrow. But hey, don't worry about that, because we'll kick the can down the road again tomorrow. As if you can constantly kick every can down the road forever. I mean, if that was possible, then there would never be any debt crises. But there are. Countries go through them. History is replete with examples where highly indebted countries eventually ran out of rope. And just because America has more rope than maybe any other country by virtue of our status and the reserve currency status of the dollar doesn't mean it's an endless supply. At some point, we will reach the end of our rope, and then we're going to be dangling from it just like everybody else. But Biden doesn't want to face the music while he's in the White House. And so, no, he doesn't want to have to deal with the crisis of not raising the debt ceiling and forcing America to actually pay its bills, which we can't do. And so we'd have to start defaulting. We'd have to start cutting government spending. So what Biden wants and what everybody in government wants is to continue business as usual, continue to pass the buck and go deeper and deeper into debt so we can buy stuff we can't afford and borrow money we can never repay, all to keep a crisis at bay because we'd rather have it happen on somebody else's watch.
The Peter Schiff Show.